If money feels tighter than it should right now, you're not imagining it. You might be earning more than you did a few years ago, but somehow you're saving less, carrying more debt, and feel like you're constantly behind. And if you live in British Columbia, where housing, groceries, and transportation feel like they're priced on another planet, the pressure is even worse. Here's the part no one's telling you clearly. This isn't just bad luck. It's not because you're bad with money. It's because the system you're operating in is designed to quietly pull you deeper and deeper into debt while convincing you that everything is normal and okay. We're all living through this together. For every dollar of disposable income the average Canadian household has, it carries about $1.70 or more in debt. And in BC, where the cost of living is so high, that ratio isn't just a statistic. It shows up in skipped savings, stretched credit cards, and anxiety that most people don't feel comfortable talking about. We're told to budget better. We're told to cut back. But even people doing everything right feel like they can't get ahead. That's the disconnect. After working with Canadians on mortgages, debt restructuring, and long term planning for almost 15 years, I started to notice a pattern. The people struggling the most weren't reckless, they weren't irresponsible, they were often disciplined, educated, and trying to do the right things. What they were missing wasn't effort. It was an understanding of how the system actually makes money off of them. Once you see that clearly, things can start to make a lot more sense and can start to be turned around. Let's start with the most obvious part of this trap: high interest consumer debt. Credit cards, car loans, lines of credit. These aren't just conveniences. They're an engine that the bank uses for profitability, and they make money off of it hand over fist. And here's how it works: the Bank of Canada sets a policy rate. Essentially, you could use it almost like a baseline of the cost of money. And even before the rate cuts, the number sat far below what the bank actually charges you. While banks can borrow money at relatively low levels, the average Canadian credit card is still charging 20% or more. That gap isn't an accident, it's a business model. If you carry a $10,000 balance at 20%, you're paying about $2,000 a year in interest alone. Money that doesn't reduce your balance by a single dollar. That's rent, that's groceries, that's a down payment on a house slipping away from you. And the data shows that this is hitting renters and non homeowners hardest, especially in high cost provinces like BC or Ontario. And not to get too deep into the weeds on this, but this is also severely fueled by our mentality around stuff. I mean, if you look at it, we all go out and eagerly buy that brand new iPhone or that trending thing that we saw on TikTok or on Amazon. We buy something that we think is cool. We look at it for 2 weeks, then it ends up in a drawer or a box and we forget about it. Most of these things are purchased using credit cards and lines of credit and things like that. And that means you're not just only buying something that has no real tangible resale value, you're paying interest on it. It's costing you money to own that object. That's where it truly adds up. Now, I'm not saying that all people who have high credit card debt are frivolously spending on Amazon things and iPhones, but it's something to consider. Then there's car loans and this affordable car illusion. 7-year terms, 8-year terms, low monthly payments that look harmless. But long term means more interest, often 8 to 12%, even for borrowers with good credit. And sure, they might give you 0% for the first 12 months, but that means you still have 6 years to 8 years or whatever left where you're paying interest on it. Meanwhile, the car isn't appreciating in value, it's losing value every single year. So you're paying interest on something that's depreciating while the payment crowds out savings for emergencies, investing, or buying a house. It feels manageable month to month until it isn't. And it can be a massive, massive detriment if you're looking to purchase a house because we have to debt service that car payment. And to be honest with you, I keep seeing car payments get bigger and bigger and bigger. When I started doing mortgages, it wasn't odd to see a car payment of 100, 150, maybe $200 a month. But now they're creeping up to 7, 8, 9, even over $1,000 a month. If you try and buy a house and you're paying $1,000 a month for a car, I'm sorry, chances are you're not going to be buying a house unless you have a really, really, really good income or a big down payment. Now, here's the part that really frustrates a lot of people once you see it: savings accounts. Banks love to market high interest savings accounts as responsible or smart, but in reality, Many of these accounts barely keep up with inflation. They're fully taxable in most cases and pay a fraction of what the bank is earning by lending your money out, possibly even to you. While you're earning a few percent and losing purchasing power after tax, that same dollar that you put in that high interest savings account is being loaned out at rates of 5, 10, or even 20 times higher than what you're actually earning. This gap is called the net interest margin, and it's where banks make billions of dollars. Because if you don't deposit your money, they have no money to lend out. This puts you in a position where you feel like you're being responsible, but the finish line just keeps moving further and further away from you. If your rate of return is lower than the rate of inflation, you need to start exploring different options. Now, here's the quietest drain of them all: fees. Monthly account fees, transaction fees, NSF fees that can hit up to $45 or more in a single moment. Individually, they feel small. Together, they add up to being hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year for average Canadian households. Money that could pay down debt, build savings in an account that's actually earning a good return, or create breathing room or save for a down payment. Instead, it disappears slowly and predictably over time. When you step back, a pattern appears. High interest debts pull money out fast. Low yielding savings fail to push you forward, and fees quietly drain what you have left. None of this requires you to mess up. It just requires you to participate. That's why this feels so hard to escape. But here's the most important part. Once you understand the system, you're no longer powerless. Breaking free doesn't require perfection, it just requires a shift in priorities and an understanding. Start by attacking high interest debt aggressively and trying to not accumulate more. I'm not saying you have to be minimalistic in your living, but try and look at things that you don't necessarily need to buy. And if it's something frivolous, try to save for it and buy it cash. Don't put it on credit. Next time you go to buy a TV, it might be tempting to take the loan or take it on credit card or something like that. Break down the cost of the TV on a monthly basis. Save that money up and then buy it cash. You'll thank me later. Next, strip away unnecessary fees. And most importantly, start seeing debt for what it is: a product designed to generate profit, not convenience. This isn't about being anti-bank. It's about being pro-you. And there's lots of different banks out there that can provide you products at lower fees and lower costs than some of the regular known brands. Make sure to go online and explore those. Keep tabs on things and make sure you find the right option for you. If any of this is hitting close to home, you're not alone. And if you're ready to start taking control back step by step, comment below and write, "I'm ready to break the cycle." This isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. I'm building out systems and tools that I'm hoping to offer up freely to as many Canadians as possible. No sales jargon, no sales tactics, just free tools to help people take on their financial life and master it and be comfortable with it and finally actually start enjoying money instead of seeing it as this giant cage. Now, one thing I want to say before I sign off is you're not broken. You're not. This system we live in just wasn't built for you, nor was it built for your success. So stay strong, stay educated, try and get as much clarity as possible. And if any of this was enjoyable, or if you got any help from it, maybe consider liking and subscribing to the channel. My name is Myles Nowik of the Nowik Mortgage Team, powered by Indy Mortgage. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.